Annyeong, everybody. Global. And I'm here to talk about my second childbirth in Korea. And I'll also be putting some videos and vlogs and all that stuff, but I also want to explain and go more in depth and go into it. Like, it's just in case there's like any questions or whatever, I can just answer. So I have my diary here. So I don't leave out anything. But before I gave birth to my second baby in Korea, my son, my mom came to help with the birth. And let me give a little bit of backstory onto my son's birth and stuff. So the pregnancy with my son was pretty much uneventful until 20 something weeks. I can't remember exactly. I'm sorry. I went into preterm labor, and how that happened was, I just kept having Braxton Hicks. They're like getting more intense, more painful, more often. And I was just like talking to a friend of mine, and I was just like, man, these Braxton Hicks are kicking my butt. I took a hot bath, to maybe like mellow them out. And I did not call her back, and I was just like, yo, this kicking my butt, this Braxton Hicks, because I was never come across my mind to that preterm labor, because with my daughter, I was like way overdue. So I did just the thought of that, it didn't even cross my mind. But she was just like, you should probably go in and tell them that, because like that's so I was like, yeah, it's probably nothing. So I think I drove myself to the hospital, because I was like, it's probably nothing. Yeah, I think I drove myself. Maybe, perhaps. Yes, I did. I drove myself to the hospital. And thinking that they were just gonna be like, oh, it's nothing, take a shower, whatever. But turns out So I came in for, like, I had some BH contractions, I think, but they're pretty painful on the front and also in my back. So now I'm here doing the stress testing. He needs to stay his little big behind inside. He better stop trying to come out. Better not. They did the stress test, non-stress test, or whatever, the stress test, and they saw that I was having contractions, and then they checked my cervix, and they saw that with each contraction, my cervix was shortening. So they admitted me into the hospital, and they gave me the magnesium and all that stuff to stop the contractions, and they gave me the shot to develop his lungs and stuff. And I'm here, and this is the pajamas they give me, and this is what my size is, and this is the IV. But yeah, I am just want to go home. I'm tired. I'm not tired, but I just want to go home. I just want baby to be okay. Yeah, I'm 33 weeks today. Went into preterm labor at 32 weeks. I've been here. It's my second night, so yeah. So I was admitted into the hospital for about a few days, 3-4 days, and they were like, okay, contractions have stopped, but they gave me medicine to take home, and I was put on strict bed rest. So for the rest of my pregnancy, up until like, it was safe for him to come out, that I was put on strict bed rest, so I was told I could only go to the bathroom, and that's it. And that was so hard because I already have a toddler and I have to take care of her, but thankfully my husband is really amazing and just awesome, and he took over and I didn't have to do much. I'm sorry about this angle. But right now I am home. I've been discharged. Quick update on what happened. I guess I will tell you guys what happened. So so a few days before I went to the hospital, like the date night before or something, I was having like cramps and contractions or whatever, which I thought were Braxton Hicks, but because I never went into labor naturally, so I don't know what they start feeling like. But yeah, anyways, so went into the hospital. I will explain it later, but right now I'm just like tired. It's funny because I was in the hospital to rest, but I'm very tired. Because like I was in a room with like hella other people, and their husbands were snoring like damn freight trains, and it seemed like they were just having a competition of who could snore the loudest. They were just all simultaneously at the same friggin' time, like. Anyways, yeah, I couldn't sleep very well, and also was worried, stressed, wondering if baby's gonna stay in. I just wanted everything to be okay. So my labs, they said that my liver levels are high, abnormal. They said something about my livers are abnormal. I don't know what that means. They really suck at explaining things. I know I have so many questions. It's like when I'm gone, then I have all these questions that pop up. At the moment, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. But then when I walk away, and then I'm like, what the? I have all these questions. Like, why can't you just explain it to me right then and there? Why do I have to? Because, these questions don't pop up until I sit and ponder and think about it. And then I'm just like, oh, what does that mean? What is this? And then they said I'm like 3 centimeters. It's just 3 centimeters. Like, what does that mean? Am I thick, long, what, dilated? Like, what, 3 centimeters, what? There's like gaps in this information, and I'm just like left wondering. And then they said I have some inflammation, so they gave me a whole bunch of medication. I'm on a whole bunch of medications. Yeah, and I'm just resting now. I'm like so nervous. I don't want to take all these medications. It's too much. Like, there's so many freaking medications. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I just want baby to be here safe. I want us both to make out okay. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm just home now. I'm on strict bed rest. Doctor said I can't leave the house, so I'm just here. Just here in bed. I don't know what to do. It's very boring. Maybe I'll edit some videos and post. It's really boring though. Study some Korean. I borrowed a book from the library application, so I was reading that last night. So yeah, Obviously, he still had to go to work, and I had to take care of my toddler while he's at work. But he took my daughter to daycare, and he was just like amazing all around. So, oops. That's how we handled it. And then because I went into preterm labor, I told my mom, because she was going to come later, but she's like, this whole thing, maybe I should come earlier. She hasn't bought her ticket yet. Thank God she didn't buy her ticket yet. So she was like, maybe I should come earlier. So she ended up coming a bit earlier, especially to help out with the end. And then back to the pregnancy, my son was getting really big. He was like already 3 kg. And so the doctor was like, you need to stop eating fruits and all that stuff, Just a second. Okay, so I had to go over my notes for a little bit. But yeah, as I was saying, my baby started getting big. And they wanted to keep him in as long as possible. So when he came, for some reason, I said in my notes that I got a membrane sweep at around 36 weeks because they wanted to induce him because he was getting too big. They wanted him to come out because they said, oh, he's getting really big. If he goes full term, then it's going to be very hard. He might get stuck, and, because my daughter got stuck, so they don't want him to get stuck. So they were like, okay, it's better to induce, make him come out, because there's no sign of, like, the labor coming back or anything like that. So they did a membrane sweep, and it didn't work. With my daughter, I also got 2 membrane sweeps. It didn't work. So they scheduled. They had they gave me the sweep, but they already had my induction scheduled. It was still, the induction was still within 36 weeks. But yeah. So he was about 3 kg, maybe about 3 kg. From what they guess off the ultrasound. Those things are not accurate. And that failed. And so my mom came literally, I think, the day after. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, she came on the 7th. And he was born the 10th. And he came out. So I went for my induction 7 a.m. and we drove to the hospital. As you can see, I could just put the clips in. I'll just put the clips. You guys can watch this. Wow, I look. Well, I'm all hooked up. Here, I'm hooked up. I think I'm starting to get the pitocin. Opa. This is the room we have. It's a single room. Not like last time. Last time it was a shared room. Oh.
Yeah, waiting.
Yeah. Oh, there was no rooms available last time. They said that I can't force centimeters dilated, so they just broke my water, and we're gonna try to do this without the pitocin for now, and if needed, then add the pitocin. But yeah, so they broke my water, gave me antibiotics, and now we just have to wait and see. Yep, they said I could give birth before lunch. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I feel like I have to poop, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. And I wanted to look cute, but I just look crazy right now. Like my hair is done. Like my hair is done. They need to know I'm a star. No, I'm a star. Yeah. But yeah, it was. How can I explain this? Compared to my first birth, this one was 100 times better. Faster. I was more prepared. I know what to expect. That's usually how it is. You know what to expect, so your body's more relaxed. Even though I was induced and I didn't want to get induced because I know the induction contractions are very, very painful, and I didn't want to, deal with that. And also, I was dealing with like a sickness. I was sick. I think I had a cold or something, but also my stomach was not good. Like I was like going to the bathroom a lot, and they were like, "That's the labor bathroom poops," and I'm just like, "Are you sure?" Because it's just not. So with my daughter, I got the epostomy or something, where they put it, they clean your bowels out. They put the thing up your bum and they flush your bowels out so you don't poop. I didn't get it with my son because I was already, like I said, I was already going to the bathroom like crazy, and my stomach was killing me. And they were like, "You want it?" And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." Get that away from me. My stomach is killing me. I'm already going to the bathroom. There's literally nothing inside of me because I have been on the bathroom all freaking day. Last night, there's nothing. There's nothing. And I haven't eaten because I'm just so sick. So can you imagine? I went in there with like my nose was stuffed up. So I was very worried about like, how am I going to do my breathing and all that stuff when I can't even breathe? My stomach is like, it was the worst conditions to give birth in. And even with all that going on, I still said it's 100 times better than the labor with my daughter. The first ones, oof, because you don't know what to expect. And this time I had my affirmations. I had my words of affirmation. So like, the one of my favorites, the ones that helped me very much, was like, one of them was like, each contraction brings me closer to my baby. And another one is, my body is not going to do anything that it can't handle. Another one is each contraction is one less contraction that I have to do. So one is finished, I was like, "Oh, that's one less I gotta do. One down, however many to go." Just affirmations that are just like, you're gonna be okay. And also affirmations that are like, baby is coming. It's not just this pain is just not here for nothing. Those kinds of affirmations, they really helped. And every time I had a contraction, I would, I had the affirmations playing on my phone. And with every contraction, my husband would come and hit my back. Like, hitting the lower back was great because it really distracted the contractions. For some reason, when you hit it on the back, it really distracted the pain. I told my husband to do it as hard as possible, like to the point where it's painful, because for me, if I'm hurting somewhere else, the pain in the other part is like not as bad. So for example, if my leg falls asleep, I'll start hitting another part of my body, and then like instead of all the pain being in one place, it's kind of like split. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is for me. So I told my husband to hit it until it hurts, and it helped because the pain was split between my front and then my back, and it really helped me get through my contractions. And also the affirmations too. And a lot of it, people are probably not gonna like this, but a lot of this that helped is like a lot of mental. Mental is like, they say it help, but it really does help. Like mental is a lot. Like your breathing and everything. And so I went in for my induction at 7 a.m. They started the pitocin, and they said they would use the pitocin to start the contractions, and then they would stop it once like I got like my natural contractions take over or something like that. I honestly do not know if they did or did not because I was just so focused on, like, I was just going through, like, I was sick, like just going through a lot, you know. And another thing that helped me like go really quickly was the nurse was like, you're dilating really, really fast. I think baby can come out before lunch and you can have lunch. And I was like, oh, lunch, my big back self. I was like, oh, you better come, you better not make me miss lunch. You better come out. So I was like, oh, we gotta make lunch too. So that also motivated me. So all in all, the labor was like about 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. Or I went in at 7. I don't know when they started exactly the pitocin and all that stuff. Maybe they started around 8. I have no idea exactly. But baby came out at 1:37 p.m. And at first I was like, oh no, I missed lunch. 1:37. Oh, you should have come out at 12. But he came out 1:37 and I still got to eat lunch and then snack. But before that, they busted my water. I didn't bust my own water again. They had to bust my water. Oh, and also they shaved me. So in Korea, they shave you. First with my daughter, I didn't get it, but with my son, I was like, yeah, go ahead, shave it. And I would recommend to get the shave. I know in America they said don't shave when you're about to give birth too close because you might get infection and blah blah blah. But with the shave, with the shave is much less mess when you're trying to heal. So I recommend, if you get offered at your hospital in Korea or wherever you're from and they offer to shave, I would say yes, because with all the blood and all the other gross stuff that's coming out, it's much easier to clean and to take care of, like with my daughter, I was trimmed, but it wasn't like bald, but we balded it and it was much better still, yeah. And they broke my water. Oh, and with my son, I felt the transition. You know how they say the transition, there's supposed to be like a ring of fire or blah blah blah, whatever. I felt the transition, but it wasn't like a ring of fire. I just threw up. That is how I knew that I was transitioning into, like, was it active labor or something? But I did throw up during a certain point. And they gave me a bucket and stuff, and I also peed. My pelvis floor is absolutely zero. I also peed, but I pretended it wasn't me. I was like, oh, what is that? Somebody spilled water. I'm pretty sure the nurses were like, oh. Yeah, sure, whatever. But they were very sweet, I was embarrassed about peeing, but, like, let me tell you, this baby was on my, like, just on my, just everything, just down there. So I was on the little birthing bowl and I throwing up and peeing, and it was just gross, and everything was just it's not as beautiful as some people's birth, but it got stuff done. And I think halfway through, maybe, I was really exhausted. I didn't have no energy because like I said, I was sick and dealing all night, going to the bathroom and all this stuff, and I was just not feeling well. And so I asked them for the pain shot that I got with my daughter. Like, it was like, it's like a shot in your bum. And I don't know if it stops pain, but it does make you sleepy. You go to sleep. So I think it's like a Benadryl. Like, you can't be sick if you're knocked out. So, you can't be hurt if you're like KO'd. So I asked them for that, and they were like, "Are you sure you want it? Because like if you take it, then you're gonna be in labor longer." So I was like, "I have no energy. I need to rest before I start pushing because I have no energy. Like I am tired." So they gave me the shot, and I sleep. And even with that, I still gave birth within 6 hours, 6.5 hours. So, yeah, it's and with that shot, I don't know if I don't know if I can say I natural birth or not, because like it is a pain shot, but I don't know exactly what's the name and all that stuff. Like they just put it in your bum. It's just in your bum. They give you a shot in your bum and you knock out. Like I could not even keep my eyes open. So I don't know if it's actually pain relief or it's just like they just knock you out. So um so that, yeah, I did that. And when I woke up, it came to when the medicine started wearing off. I think I had a new sense of like energy, because I slept, but it was still like tired because of the medicine. But like initially I have like energy. So I was, and then they were like, "It's ready to push, you're ready to push." I wanted to try different birthing positions, like, but they were just like, I was also very tired too, still, and I didn't feel like getting up out of bed, and so anyways, I started pushing. I don't even know how long I was pushing for, but I push, and baby came out. I pushed with the contractions. They were like, push with the contractions, and baby came out. I have no idea how long I was pushing for. I wish I knew. But yes, he came out 3.8 kilograms at 1:37 p.m. And just beautiful. He didn't cry until like, they had to do some stuff, and they when he was born, he had to be on the breathing machine. Like even though he was term 36 weeks, he was still early. 36 weeks is considered a little bit preterm. So he was on the breathing machine because he didn't cry. He was on the breathing machine, so I couldn't breastfeed him as I wanted to because he was hooked up to the machine. But I did visit him. We visited him. They took him off the machine for a little bit. I was until like the last day I was there, and I was able to try to breastfeed him. And then they had to put him back on the machine or whatever. But he was able to come home, and we went straight to the Jordy one. And then I guess in my next video I can talk about how the Jordy one is and how it went as a foreigner in a Korean Jordy one. But yes, thank you for listening to my video.